Have you ever been told, I don't know what we do without you? It sounds like a compliment, and it is, but sometimes it's also the exact reason someone doesn't get promoted. In today's episode, we're talking about the hidden career trap that many high performing women fall into without realizing it, and how being the most reliable person on your team can quietly slow down your advancement. Let's go. Welcome to Career Growth for Working Women. This show is for women who are done waiting to be noticed and ready to be compensated for the value they already bring. I'm Shannon, a promotion and compensation coach, and I help women position themselves for real advancement, not by working harder, but by showing their value more strategically using what I call the 5% method. If you're ready for clarity, confidence, and career growth that actually pays off, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Hello, friend. Welcome back to the show. I want to tell you about a conversation I had with a client that completely stopped her in her tracks. She had just finished explaining everything she was responsible for at work, and it was a lot. She was running meetings, fixing broken processes, helping other teams when things fell apart, taking on extra projects when someone left. Basically, she was the person who made everything work. And after she walked me through all of that, she said something that I hear all the time. She said, I just don't understand why I haven't been promoted yet. And I asked her one simple question. I said, if you stopped doing all of those things tomorrow, what would happen? And she laughed and she said, oh, everything would fall apart. And that's when I said something that surprised her. I said, that might actually be the problem. Now, before you throw something at your podcast player, let me explain. Many high-performing women fall into something I call the reliability trap. They are so capable, so responsible, so good at getting things done that over time, they become the person everyone depends on. And that sounds like a good thing until leadership starts thinking this. We can't move her. Everything would fall apart. Without realizing it, you became essential to the work staying the same, instead of positioned for next level of leadership. This happens all the time when women who have strengths like responsibility, achiever, or developer. They care deeply about doing things well. They see problems and fix them. They carry more than their role technically requires. But here's the shift that changes everything. Leadership roles are not built on carrying more work. They're built on creating impact through influence and direction. And that means part of positioning yourself for promotion is learning how to stop over-functioning. Inside the 5% promotion method, this is exactly what we work on in the second phase called energy authority. It's the phase where burnout ends and leadership positioning begins. Because energy management is actually a leadership skill. Leaders don't prove their value by doing everything. They prove their value by creating results. And that requires space. Space to think strategically. Space to lead. Space to influence outcomes. And if all your time is spent keeping things running, there's no room left for leadership. Now, here's the beautiful part of the story I started with. Once my client realized she was in the reliability trap, we started making small shifts. She stopped automatically taking on every extra task. She started delegating pieces of work that didn't require her expertise. And she began focusing her energy on projects that had visible organizational impact. Within a few months, something interesting happened. Leadership started asking for her input on bigger decisions. not because she was doing more work, but because she was finally positioned where they could see her leadership. So if you've ever been told, we just don't know what we do without you, I want you to hear this with fresh ears. That's a compliment, but it's also a signal. Because the goal of your career isn't to be the person everything depends on. The goal is to be the person who leads what comes next. So before we wrap up, let's talk about one small shift you can make this week. Your small promotion move for this week is this. Look at everything on your plate right now and ask yourself one question. Which of these responsibilities actually demonstrates leadership impact? And which one simply keeps the machine running? You don't need to change everything overnight, but awareness is powerful. Because once you start seeing the difference, you can begin positioning your time and energy toward the work that actually moves your career forward. And that's where promotions start becoming possible. See you next time. If today's episode sparked something for you, a question, an idea, or a realization, don't ignore it. I offer promotion strategy calls where we walk through your current role, your goals, and how to position you for your next promotion or raise without burning out or overworking. You can book that call using the link in the description. And if this episode helped you, sharing it or leaving a quick review makes a bigger difference than you know. Until next time, keep showing your value clearly. You've earned it.